How's it going, everybody? Happy Thursday. Got my mic on today. Not 2 minutes of silence. Sorry about that from yesterday. Anyways, hope everybody's well. All right, let's fire this baby off. As you can see here, we got a new little sponsor here. Want to make sure we get shouted out. So hello, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and cherished community. Welcome to another enriching episode of the Know Your Pharmacist live stream, where we unravel the tapestry of healthcare, wellness, and community spirit. I'm your host, Dr. Joaquin Acosta, CEO of PharmTrue, standing at the nexus of tradition and innovation in pharmacy practice. Tonight we tread into the realms of integrity, collaboration, and empowerment, themes resonant with the ethos of our new sponsor, the Baked Chicken Farm. As we delve into the pertinent issues of our time, from the pharmacist frontline to the herbal wellness corner, we're accompanied by the pioneering spirit of the Baked Chicken Farm. Their journey metamorphosing a 210-acre former chicken farm into a sanctuary of high-grade cannabis cultivation is a testament to the boundless potential that resides in visionary endeavor and community-centric expertise. Let's extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Baked Chicken Farm, whose unwavering commitment to quality, innovation, and community service mirrors the values we uphold here on the Know Your Pharmacist livestream. Their upcoming harvest, a cornucopia of premium cannabis strains, is a harbinger of the wellness and quality of life that conscientious cannabis cultivation can usher into our community. As we embark on tonight's expedition of knowledge, compassion, and community engagement, let's also pay homage to our loyal sponsors, PharmTrue, High Horse Cannabis Company, and Vado Speedway Park, whose contributions fuel the engine of positive change we aim to drive through this platform. Together, guys, we're not just exploring the frontiers of health and wellness, we're creating a narrative of hope, empowerment, and collective endeavor in the face of challenges. So brace yourself for a journey of insight, camaraderie, and positive action as we delve into the heart of today's discussions. Your engagement is not just welcomed, it's vital as we mold the narrative of a healthier, more enlightened community. Welcome to the Know Your Pharmacist live stream, guys. So starting off on the Pharmacist Frontline segment today, as you guys see here, Baked Chicken Farm below, these guys are literally premium indoor cannabis. As you can see here, 210-acre farm. These old chicken coops here have been completely redone, fully HVAC'd out, and are some supreme growing rooms for cannabis and some big time production. So it's going to be very exciting to see them roll out with their first full, official, harvest in this indoor. So it's only going to get better from here, and we're very excited to see where they're going to be. Thank you very much for jumping on as our newest sponsor, guys. But moving on into our Pharmacist Frontline segment, check this thing out. Talking about the Express Scripts lawsuit today. For anybody who knows what's going on there, Express Scripts got sued by 4 independent pharmacies alleging price fixing. So we're going to get into this a little bit today and to how, insurances steal money pretty much from everybody. And again, the independent pharmacy world is the one who's seeing it the most. The pharmacy world, is pretty cutthroat for each other, especially in the insurance and the pharmacy world, when you're mixing pharmacy benefit managers with the pharmacies themselves and the wholesalers and vertical and horizontal integration everywhere, right? It's a fun time for everybody involved trying to get a piece of the pie. And the pie only is the American, dollar here. And we pay the most inflated drug prices in the entire world. We are paying top dollar for drugs that are produced on the dime anywhere else in any other country, pretty much. India and China specifically, big time. But again, drugs that are being marked up because of whatever, if they have brand name patents or other weird reasons, every part of that markup is getting, cherry picked by companies like Express Scripts, who try to drive those prices down and or take it from somewhere else. One of the places that they are taking it from big time is independent pharmacies. Guys, as we're going to talk about later in this episode too, is, pharmacy deserts and why these things are starting to come up, and what kind of communities are going to be affected with these pharmacy deserts. It's the underserved communities that are paid back by insurances that are paying for things like government benefits such as TRICARE, your military. Express Scripts covers not only Medicare Part D and other things, but TRICARE. And they were making independent pharmacies absolutely have to bend their backs and basically pay money to fill prescriptions for our veterans. And it's crazy to think our servicemen and our veterans that have TRICARE are forced into going to like Walgreens, right, for preferred pricing on all their medications. And that's where they beat you out, is by making the patient pay a better price on their medication by going to their preferred pharmacy. Of course, you've heard this before, right? But again, where a 2-cent drug is going to cost you $4 at Walgreens and then cost you $10 at an independent. Again, who's taking all that money? People like Express Scripts, who are padding themselves all the way through this with vertical and horizontal integration. So again, they own the insurance company. They have the good contracts with the government for things like TRICARE, and independent pharmacies aren't like, you get to the point of, literally happened to me multiple times over years that patients come and are willing to pay their cash price for a better service over going to Walgreens, right? The devil, right? And they will go and pay you for something like a tetanus shot or a pneumonia shot or something, shingle shot, and pay the higher price, whatever it's going to be, because they would rather somebody that actually cares about them, has time for them, isn't going to put them at the back of the line and make them, have an inconvenient life. And again, not only are independent pharmacists willing to, stretch their necks out to take care of people, but on top of that, they're not getting paid anything to do so. And you have to create other situations. They're like, all right, well, we won't even bill Express Scripts, so we don't have to give them any part of this pie, because by the end of it, we're getting negative, $20 back. And that happens a lot in the pharmacy industry, and that's happening right now, especially in the independents, when you're coming to government contracts and things like that. They manage to set themselves up into these contractual situations that truly are very, very expensive for the, insured or for the taxpayer. And then at the same time, the ones that are actually providing the services aren't getting paid. Just some pharmacy benefit manager who set up some software with a couple rules that tell them where they're going to take all their money and for whatever reason they're going to take it, right? And then all of a sudden, things are imbalanced. And so this is exactly why you're seeing this right now with Express Scripts being sued by 4 independents. The Express Scripts lawsuit is only, more of what has happened, right? So the PBM fees, they'll take whatever they can on the way to paying you back, or they'll even do, right, what's called basically, they'll charge you in the retro, right? It's called a DIR fee, but they will charge those back in the retro. Those eventually supposedly are going to be illegal, but again, until that time, it's even that much more out of control, because Express Scripts, where they're a pharmacy benefit manager, Prime Therapeutics, they're a pharmacy benefit manager, and Express Scripts, they are working with Prime Therapeutics there, as it says here, to charge higher fees and reimburse pharmacies at lower rates. So like Prime Therapeutics, for instance, they're the administrators of New Mexico Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicaid, Centennial. That's like a big one. Otherwise, right, Express Scripts, big administrators of either Medicare Part D or TRICARE typically is where you're going to see a lot of Express Scripts, or government contract workers. So from there, maybe you'll see it. But other than that, right, if you work for like White Sands, you're going to be on a federal plan, which might be actually based out of Prime Therapeutics. So again, Prime Therapeutics, that pharmacy benefit manager who really does control a lot of those contracts, it's just giving you the light there on how it really gets connected, and where a couple insurance companies can partner up to just really squeeze things out, and so on and so forth. So whether they say they're going to pay back on a specific medication or specific brand or generic to a specific type of patient, on top of that, they're making it a very, very not transparent world in terms of how they make those decisions and, the variability of it all. So that's pretty much my, soapbox for that right now. Our Pharmacist Frontline segment, guys, brought to you guys by PharmTrue. Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate PharmTrue, our esteemed sponsor of the Pharmacist Frontline segment. PharmTrue is more than just a pharmacy, it's a beacon of innovation and quality, providing pharmacist-formulated cannabis products since 2019. With the commitment to education and trusted, safe, well-designed solutions, PharmTrue is empowering wellness through community-driven healthcare. Join them in their journey towards a healthier future, backed by science and nature. Visit PharmTrue's website and be a part of the revolutionary movement today. Our 1-to-1 gummies, guys, are inside of High Horse Cannabis Company's 3 stores, 24/7, 365. We'll talk about them and shout them out a little later here shortly. But thank you very much to sponsors of our segments again, as we did pick up the Baked Chicken Farm, newest sponsors as well today of our community spotlight. So awesome there. Shouting out the next thing, guys, in our tech talk. Check this out. Insurance middleman, or no, excuse me, not that one. New scientists. That's where I'm looking at. Prefer feedback from ChatGPT to judgment by peers. So again, those of you in the medical field or the data industry or science fields and things like that, if you're not working with ChatGPT, I mean, you're shorting yourself, right? And so this is insane. Scientists prefer feedback from ChatGPT to judgment by peers. Scientific research must be reviewed by other scientists before it's published, but some researchers say that feedback from ChatGPT could be more useful. So again, I mean, if, right, these language models are trained properly, they are doing really, really good at making, data analysis, correlation, and doing things such as providing feedback on papers, right? And that's really cool to see. And I wanted to really highlight that article here for you guys who, pharmacy school students who are journal clubs or things like that. Or again, even if you're in just the industry and looking at research and things like that, or just a medical provider, I think it's still really important for you to check out just exactly how you can use some of this AI stuff to really do some things. And again, don't spend your money on all these kinds of crazy softwares that say they are AI. You know what I mean? I would really, really consider, spending some heavy time on like a ChatGPT to train it and do whatever it is that you know how to do. So, AI can help. I really think AI can help humans do what they know how to do well. And I think if you know how to do that, you can work with it to thus build on that. If you're going to try to shoot from the hip, I mean, you're still shooting from the hip, right? I mean, with a bullet that is not very guided and not very intentional. So again, it's just like anything else. You got to get into spending some of that time on making it what it is. It's kind of funny how you can almost look at it like an artificial relationship there with a, thing that you can just talk to. So if you've never done it before, you can just, literally talk to your, artificial intelligence through the ChatGPT app, whether you pay for the extra or not. And you can get into all kinds of data processing and stuff from there. And, I'd love to do, more tutorials and things like that. Maybe that'll be a later time wink or something like that. But, for now, I really think it's just a cool opportunity for those who are using this kind of stuff for data, whether it's, again, medical data. I love that because you're seeing things like the opportunity of really, really, really making some differences there. And then you start analyzing that with financial data and some other things, man, oh my, geez. So that's the potential. Anyways, moving on. So talking about this, guys, still sharing some of the pharma secrets today. Insurance middlemen to blame for rising drug costs. So let's talk about this a little more as we did. Talking about some of these out-of-pocket months and just citing here from where independent pharmacies are literally saying they're still disappearing, right? Looking at pharmacy deserts, predictions here to, this pharmacy owner, Callahan out of Missouri, he's saying 30% of independent pharmacies are going to be gone by the end of next year if things don't change. And so again, looking at this right here, he's giving a good example. Take Humalog, a type of insulin for people with diabetes, sold to pharmacies at $264. Generic version is $24. Insurance usually only covers the more expensive drug. Why? Nonprofit pharmacist United for Truth and Transparency said because PBMs get rebates from the brand names. So as we talked about before, the result, more limited options for pharmacies and patients while PBMs make a profit. So, if they can force your drug formulary to be for some expensive brand name and be partnered up with the manufacturer who is more than happy to make a very high expensive drug that they were going to make anyways, that they just spent years getting, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 approval on, and finally releasing that, having that brand name in brand time is a very advantageous time to continue to try to control as much cost as you can. So if you didn't have a PBM there, to bargain with, something like a manufacturer to try to advocate for their useless importance, then all of a sudden, right, there you have it. And again, this could also have originated from the other ways of manufacturers trying to figure out how to continue to get more, right, parts of that pie. So that's where those pies do connect. And this is where, it all comes down to, we don't even know how they're doing their operations. Again, they're operating in secret. They're not even transparent right now. And there's not a lot that you can do, to look at why they make the decisions they make and why they take out the pricing that they do. And it's really hurting the pharmacy industry all as a whole. And by hurting the pharmacy industry as a whole, especially the ones that are really, committed to making differences, especially in their communities, independent pharmacies, it's just, it's a knife in the back there to the true ones that are doing the service each day in and day out. Hopefully someday, this comes to light, but the push as of late has, continued to advance, and we hope, to see some of the weird stuff in pharmacy get exposed, right? Whether it's insurance stuff or even labor and workers' rights, right? So awesome. Anyways, guys, moving on to our Herbal Wellness Corner, brought to you by High Horse Cannabis Company. Spotlighting today the first pharmacy partners to be dispensing medical cannabis through independent pharmacies in Georgia. This is cool. Botanical Sciences pharmacy partners. So these guys are going to be doing THC oil products out in, I believe, like 190 some pharmacies. So, again, for these guys, historical stuff to be out actually dispensed in the pharmacies. Again, who did it first? Is America's first retail dispensary inside of a pharmacy, guys. That's your very own Farm True, baby. But our Herbal Wellness Corner, brought to you by High Horse Cannabis Company, of course. We want to see all the positive things in the cannabis industry, and by the state of Georgia actually, allowed for cannabis to be medically dispensed only through pharmacies. So this is really cool that they allowed pharmacies to get the license. Specifically, this is the only state to be able to do that. Again, in the state of New Mexico, it's a separate license. You're not licensing with just through the Board of Pharmacy. You're licensing with the Cannabis Control Division, a separate business from the pharmacy, which again, is probably the smarter way to go right now, because federal law does not allow you to sell cannabis through a pharmacy. And that is, a big deal, because banks, point of sale softwares will shut you down by doing kind of stuff like that. So, and or even associating your brand in that way. So you got to be very, very careful with the lines that you toe there. So there's going to be about 190 some pharmacies here that are going to be having a wake up call here in the state of Georgia for sure. Federal is still trying to push for, different financial restrictions being released and things like that, but we're not there yet. So anyways, Herbal Wellness Corner, brought to you by High Horse. Hope everybody's having a good night so far. Moving on to our community spotlight. But before we do, guys, I want to make sure that High Horse Cannabis Company does get their shout out, honoring High Horse Cannabis Company, the trailblazers of the cannabis industry and proud sponsors of our Herbal Wellness Corner, with dispensaries in Chaparral, Valley Drive, North Main Street, and soon in Hobbs, New Mexico. High Horse is your go-to destination for quality cannabis products. Committed to professionalism, respect, and helping people, High Horse is changing lives for the better. Visit one of their locations and experience the High Horse difference. Check out High Horse's website and discover the future of cannabis today. Cool. So moving on to our community spotlight, brought to you guys by The Baked Chicken Farm, our new sponsors. Awesome. Just spotlighting, your right to vote, guys. Our City of Las Cruces voting is currently in early session right now. So if you guys haven't made a plan to go vote, it's coming up. Go do it. Go exercise your right to vote. Not everybody in this world has the right to do it. America, greatest country in the world to vote. So all right here, guys, to be a part of your community, it's a very good thing. Again, voting early gives you more flexibility with weekend and evening hours available. Voting by mail gives you other time. Election day, 7 to 7 on the polls. I'll give the Make a Plan to Vote deal here in Las Cruces. A link shout out right here for y'all. Excellent. So big thanks to our newest sponsor there, the Baked Chicken Farm, a family-owned cannabis haven in southern New Mexico, transforming a 210-acre former chicken farm into the state-of-the-art cannabis cultivation facility. They embody innovation as they gear up for their next harvest here this fall. With an array of quality strains, they are set to redefine excellence in cannabis cultivation. Their journey is not just a business endeavor, but a community-centric stride towards superior quality and customer satisfaction. Join us in celebrating the Baked Chicken Farm, our esteemed sponsor, embodying the zenith of commitment, quality, and community spirit. Lastly, guys, Men's Health Minute, following up with everybody on voting. Who do you guys think votes more, men or women? Well, according to this, we'll take you guys through some stats here about voter turnout. And we could talk about gender. Because again, men, we're losing there, as you can see. Purple is women. So since 1980s, women have been voting more. In every presidential election since 1980, the proportion of eligible female adults who voted has exceeded the proportion of eligible male adults who voted. In all presidential elections prior to the 1980 voter turnout rate for women was lower than the rate for men. The number of female voters has exceeded the number of male voters in every election since 1964. Gender gap in turnout rates and numbers tend to narrow in on non-presidential election years. So interestingly enough, guys, we are exposed. We need to get to the voting booth. Back in the day when it was the draft and men had to go to war, you fought for that right. And willing to die for something you're not even going to participate in? Come on. Or your grandparents or your family. Get out there and vote, guys. Election season. Other than that, if you guys got any questions, hit me up. I'll get back to you when I can. Make sure to catch our gummies everywhere. Hope you guys like the little gummy tinge around. Hope it makes you want some gummies. Our 1-to-1s. Ooh. And we just released those 500 milligram THCs, 500 milligram 1-to-1s, and 500 milligram triple ones, guys. 25 count gummies. Really, really, really yummy. Very excited about all that too. So anyways, hope everybody has a good rest of your Thursday evening. We will see you guys tomorrow.